Everybody, this is Donna from Purple Pinky Promises. Welcome. Today we have an absolutely adorable little card, Father's Day card, that I'm bringing to you. It reminds me of the playfulness of a father and child. And so we're going to start out here with the rotating Sunburst stencil, and it's from Waffle Flower Crafts. And I want to tell you a little bit about the order of your inking and how it really matters with this stencil. And hopefully I will take out all of the hard work for you if you decide that you want to use this, you buy the stencil, you want to use the stencil, whether you buy from me or not. I want to be here to inspire you and kind of help guide you along in this process. So the order of your ink does matter when you are inking these up, especially if you're going to use the number of inks that are actually there for you, the spots that are there for you in the stencil. And there are 5 spots there. And I did pick 5 inks. And I started out with ginger. These are all Catherine Pooler inks. And I started out with ginger. And then the next color I went to was terracotta. And as you'll see, I started at the top. Now, wherever you start, if you start at the right, you start at the bottom, you start at the left, you need to start there every single time and follow the rotation. So if you started with your ginger on the first rotation, you're going to start the second rotation with the next ink, which is the terracotta. And you'll see how I do this. So now I've inked up with Hot Tub. I'm also covering up all of those other little spots, so we don't want to, in this project it's not going to matter because I'm covering up the center. But if you happen to put your sentiment down below or whatever you end up doing with your center, if your center is going to show, that is important. And I went ahead and showed you that just in case you create something with that center showing. Okay, so next I showed you Hot Tub and then Daydream. That's the rotation. So we're going left to right as we rotate. And then the last color is Twilight. We're going to clean this stencil up and I'm going to show you where it was and then how to rotate. So you just turn it to the right to rotate it. So next in rotation, the next color is terracotta. And it does matter because I have messed this up. So I'm speaking from experience. And I started out using ginger. I lost my train of thought, and that's a good thing because that terracotta covered it up very nicely. You don't even know that mistake was made. Okay, so the next in rotation is Hot Tub. So left to right. The colors, if you can see, the colors are on the right. I take the colors from left to right. So this next ink is Hot Tub because I just finished with terracotta. And I'm keeping all my ink in the same spot so that I don't have to clean up, mess up, clean up, mess up. Okay, so our next in rotation is Daydream. So ink up that. Next in rotation is Twilight. There is a spot at which it becomes confusing. I think it's this next one. this next rotation is a little confusing. So of course we end up with ginger. Okay. If you hear thundering in the background, we've got storms. We've had storms rolling through for the last week and a half. So it's Midwest weather. Okay, so this is the rotation, I think, that might be a little bit confusing if you watch it. And I want to explain where I should have started. Okay, I should have started over there at the top left. And I'm going to tell you why. Because hot tub is actually next in the rotation. And we should have started with hot tub in the top left of the stencil. But I jumped ahead and moved in the rotation to Daydream because I wanted to move in that direction. But you'll see we end up with hot tub over there in the top left because that was technically the next in the rotation. So that is a little bit that was a little confusing. And I apologize for the confusion. But we went ahead with the Daydream, then we went with the Twilight, and I just finished with the ginger, and now here we are with the terracotta. And now you can see the hot tub. That was supposed to be next in the rotation, and then we would have done the Daydream. So I should have started here technically in this rotation. This is where I should have started. But it all worked out in the end anyway. So then now we're ready for the next rotation. And of course, what is next in the rotation is Daydream. So that goes to the left there. And I'm reminding myself over here. I'm pointing to myself over here. We're having a little staff meeting there. And then, of course, next in rotation is Twilight. Back to the beginning of the rotation with ginger. And next will be the terracotta. And I think you can kind of get the pattern there, just following that rotation. Next is hot tub. And we are done. Our sunburst is done after this. Okay. Just peeling off and getting that all cleaned up. So I want to tell you I trimmed this down, and I will have all this in the description section. I originally trimmed this down to fit the whole front of that card base. I trimmed off the top down to 5 3/4, the bottom 5 1/2, and then the right side I trimmed at 5 1/8, and the left side I trimmed off at 4 1/4. However, I decided later that I wanted to have some white trim showing, so I cut off 1/8 of an inch off of each side. And you'll see how that I did that later. All right. Next up, I'm trying to show you what I did with these Dare to Be Artsy double dot circles, and I die cut them out. I think I just showed you. Yeah, I did. I showed you which dies I used to cut those out. And now we've got something for everyone sentiments from Catherine Pooler stamps, or designs, excuse me, stamp set. And I'm going to use that sentiment at the bottom there, thinking of you today. And I'm going to curve it to fit there on my circle. Pick it up with my block and stamp it. I like the idea that terracotta was really bright and easy to see. I did stamp it off a few times because it was the first time I'd used it. And now I'm grabbing the dad and I'm going to use that with Daydream. All right, we've got this new set of stamps and dies, the More Peeking Pets from Catherine Pooler Designs. Oh my goodness, I love these stamps. They're so cute. Those little dogs and cats are so adorable. So I'm inking this up in Memento ink because we need something that is going to be alcohol marker friendly and won't smudge when we color with our alcohol markers. I grabbed this ball because I thought, this card, I wanted to really communicate the playfulness of dad and child. So I'm just kind of drying it off there to make sure that it's dry. We don't have any smudging. All right. I have, of course, all these colors listed in, we'll have them listed in the description. This is Morning Frost, a warm gray, 1, and then caramel toffee, and then I have paper bag. And I color this whole image with the paper bag. And then I'm going to show you on the right side what I did on the left here. I didn't think you wanted to see the whole process of the blending. So I color the whole thing in paper bag, and now I'm going around the edges here with that caramel toffee, the darker color. And then I'm going to go back over with the paper bag and kind of blend it out. And I just kind of repeat that process until I'm happy with what I get. Trying to only grab that edge and blend it out because I do want the far right to be dark. Just filling in those spots there that look like I pulled out too much of the paper bag. And now we have rouge for the inside of the puppy's ear. And I'm just, that brown part that I got on the inside, I'm just going to blend that out. And it's going to be fine. All right. And now we're going to basically use these grays. I ended up using 2 of the grays, the warm grays. This next one, the evening gray, is a little bit darker, so I decided that I wanted a little bit of highlighting on it, so give it a little bit of interest. Okay, so I'm gonna die cut these. We're gonna die cut them out with the We Are Memory Keepers Mini Evolution die cutting machine. And this little thing is so handy to have. I set this in the drawer of my desk. It just sits right there with all the plates. It's wonderful. Okay, so I'm making slits here so that this little ball can fit right inside his mouth. So cute. Gonna go behind there and glue all that together and put it up on dimension and set it on that circle. Look at some inky fingers there. All right, and now I'm taking my colorless blender because I did go outside the lines here in a few places, and that's just gonna lift that color off so that it's a clean coloring look. So now we're gonna get that sentiment circle on there. And I am going to add foam tape to the back of that center circle to give it some more dimension. I don't know why, but with all those lines, it made my eyes cross, and I had trouble getting that centered, and ended up having to move it again. That's the last of my foam tape, and so it's picking up that cardboard from the center. So I have to use some glue. But we aren't going to waste any craft supplies, are we? All right, so this is the point at which I trim it down to 4 by 5 1/4 by taking off 1/8 of an inch off each edge. The right, the left, the top, and the bottom. All right, and I am adhering this to the front of my card, and we are done. Once again, all the products will be listed in the description section of this video. I really appreciate you joining me today. We certainly appreciate you when you come here and watch live or catch the replay or come and watch our videos that have been uploaded and pre-recorded. We certainly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, help a small crafting company that's just starting out. So we certainly appreciate that. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.